Hello, my beautiful souls. How are you doing today? So, welcome back to my channel, Breathe and Balance, where we speak of everything and anything related to regaining balance in all aspects of our life here on earth through spirituality, metaphysics, energy medicine, and inner work. Okay, so my name is Chaturi Jayasuriya. I'm based here in Sri Lanka. And I am a psychospiritual practitioner. So, in the last episode, we spoke about what is my truth, right? Three different aspects related to uh, my truth, what it really means to have one's own truth. And of course, why it's important to realize or connect with this truth. Right, in order to, especially to reclaim our power and step into our sovereign self, as I now call it. um, so I mentioned in that video that this week I'm going to share with you how to express one's truth, a particular strategy to express one's own truth. Right? So this is a four-step strategy that I've uncovered for myself along the way, because I was also somebody who at one point struggled to express my own truth. I didn't have enough confidence, although I, used to consider myself as a very confident person, and that's how the world would see me as well. I realized that there are deeper truths that I was unable to express because I was not truly connected to those truths about myself, those aspects about myself. Right? So, and that is the first step in this strategy. I'm, kind of inclined to call it that. It's not any kind of formula, once again, it's not set in stone, but just, a kind of a overall guidance, some direction into how we can express our truth, especially in circumstances where we struggle with it, right? Because expressing our truth is something that we do all the time in our day-to-day interactions, right? You think of something you want to express and you express it. You don't think much about it. You don't think, sit down and, think of a strategy. Okay, step one, step two. So, okay, let's say I want to go somewhere and I want to express it and I express it, right? And I like something, I express it. Usually, it's not always a very difficult thing for most of us. But as I mentioned, this is for, instances where we find it a little bit challenging to speak out or express ourselves, defend our truth, situations like this. So first of all, it's important to connect with our truth. What is my truth? And I would like to invite you to refer to my previous episode, if you have not already, to gain some insight into what my truth is. So basically, to sum it up, my truth is everything that comprises my reality, my experience in the here and the now, right? Which can be a cumulative effect of my past as well, right? But whatever, it's all about my experience. How am I experiencing world and life and myself, my emotions, my aspirations and dreams, my thoughts, memories and interactions, and concepts and ideas I'm holding on to, whatever that makes me, right? My story, let's say, right? So here we are not talking about absolute truths or collective truths or anything. It's just my truth, the here and the now, right? And that can also include, like, whatever happening in my body, the sensations, yeah, everything about who you are and your experience, right? Your reality, my reality, my truth. So first of all, it's important to get in touch with what this truth is. Okay? So, which means you need to really understand whatever your experience is in the here and the now, or in the past, or whatever, like, what is your experience? For example, I'll just take a very small, simple example for the purpose of illustrating this point. Say you're feeling disappointed about a particular situation, right? So, okay, first of all, you need to connect with the fact that, okay, I am feeling this emotion, disappointed, for whatever reasons, ABC reasons. You're aware, right? It is actually about awareness. Connection means awareness in this instance, okay? Okay, I am feeling disappointed because, this person said this, did this, I said this, that, or whatever the circumstances around it. And that is my truth. This is how I feel, right? And you might even have a deeper consciousness or an understanding, awareness of where the disappointment is coming from, linked to your inner child wounds and, so on and so forth. So I'm not going to such depth at this point of time for this illustration, but just at a superficial level, let's say, I am aware that I'm disappointed. Although, like, the deeper your awareness or the deeper your awareness is, the deeper you're connected to your truth. And that is going to be very important. I'll come back to that a little later. So let's say, yeah, you are aware of whatever you're feeling. And the second point is, and this is how I discovered it, because early on I thought, okay, you just have to connect with your truth in order to express it. Then only I discovered there are two other aspects to it that are really important, without which it becomes difficult, right? So the second point is you need to claim that truth, right? So it's not enough to be aware, okay, I am feeling disappointed, but I have to really accept the fact I am feeling disappointed without any resistance, without any denial. So this is a really important fact. This is where we really struggle when it comes to certain deeper truths that we feel might be rejected by others, other people, whether it's one people or the greater society or whatever. Then we become a little bit hesitant in claiming that, really accepting that as my truth. In this instance, oh, I got disappointed, But I think it's, there are certain emotions and situations that are more difficult than others, like, let's say, guilt and shame and anger and all those dark qualities, dark emotions, or attributes and shadows and things like that, that we tend to not like about us. Those are the more difficult ones. But anyway, so it's important to first, after connecting with the truth, claim it, really accept it, without any judgment, rejection, or resistance. Okay? And the third point is embodiment. So what is this embodiment? Because that is a word now quite frequently used in this field of self-development, in our work therapy and spirituality, etc. So it has different connotations, but in this instance, what I mean is that you truly feel it in your body. It's as simple as that, right? How do you feel when you're not saying something that is true, or when you're saying an untruth or a lie? You have this gut feeling, like a clenching, like a cringing feeling in your stomach, right? Because you know that you're not saying something true or something that you believe in. Basically, you're lying, right? So your body always knows the difference between a truth and a lie. Okay, I mean, try it even now as you're listening to this video. Say something that you know to be absolutely true. See how your gut feels, solar plexus area or your heart. These are the two key places where you really feel um, your truth, of course, depending on the individual other parts as well, but generally in the heart and the solar plexus and your stomach, you know, those areas. And just see how you feel when you say something true and when you say something not true. Okay. And sometimes the difference is very subtle, but still the body feels it when you are fully attuned to your body, because the body can never lie. The body is like a little child who always says the truth. Okay. So it's important then to embody or feel it in your body what your truth is. And when these three aspects are in place, like first you connect with your truth, and then you claim your truth, and then you fully embody the truth. And one is necessary for the other. It's in that order that it normally happens. Then it becomes possible for you to express your truth. So of course we need courage and confidence to express any truth. But what I found out or experienced is it's uh, usually we get that confidence and the courage when these three steps are fulfilled, and the degree to which you connect with your truth, or you're aware of your truth, and the degree to which you claim, accept your truth, and the degree to which you embody your truth determines the degree to which you can express your truth with confidence and courage. And here I add another element, compassion. So this is the simple, like the 4-step strategy that I wanted to share with you in order to be able to express any truth about yourself. Um, so with a little bit of practice, like, take any sort of an area or a truth in your life which you feel you are struggling to express in any context, and see where the disconnect is, where in these 4 steps, where you are kind of, where you need to improve on, let's say. Because anytime you're struggling or finding it difficult to express any truth, it just means that there is a little bit of um, a disconnect in any of the first 3 steps, right? Which is either you are not fully connected with your truth, you are not really aware, you need to go deeper in understanding your truth, or you have not fully claimed it, you are still resisting at some level. So you need to investigate into that through inner work, of course. And or otherwise, you have not really truly embodied it yet. It's not really felt very much in the body. And that is because the first 2 are disconnected or not fully sort of achieved. Those 2 steps are not fully achieved, which is why you may be struggling to fully embody it. So which is why I say like it's sequential, right? So which also means that the very first step is really important to become truly deeply aware of what your truth is. So I hope this helps in your journey, especially towards stepping into and becoming your sovereign self, reclaiming your power, because this is at the root of a lot of ailments, whether physical or emotional or psychological, or any, sort of uh, issues or problems we are encountering in different aspects of our life, especially in our relationships, personal or professional. Underlying all that, at the core, is our inability to truly connect with and express our truth, and our inability to fully step into our power. These are all interconnected, right? And which is why we have got so habituated into wearing masks in our lives, right? I mean, if you really look at yourself, mm, if you're really honest with yourself, you will see how many masks that you are wearing because you are not comfortable with your authentic self. I mean, what is the reason why we wear makeup in the first place? Now, this is nothing against wearing makeup. I'm not judging it at all. It's just that, when we feel there's a pimple or something, a blemish, we want to, put makeup and cover it, right? Because we feel that a pimple or a blemish is not good enough and it'll be judged or, um, any such, opinion or idea that we may have. And a lot of the time, we don't want to be rejected by our loved ones or the larger society. Right. We don't want to be judged or we don't want to be rejected at all. I mean, rejection wound, I think, in my experience, is one of the deepest core wounds of all humanity. And everything, a lot of the things that we do in our day-to-day lives are about avoiding judgment and rejection because all of us really want to be accepted and loved, right? So we would go to any extent to prevent us from feeling the pain of rejection. And that includes wearing 12.5 masks, And this is really sad because it means that we are really sacrificing and killing our authentic self. We are telling ourselves constantly that we are not good enough, that our truth, my truth is not good enough. My truth needs to be suppressed because it's not good enough, that I'll be judged and rejected. Therefore. So we subject ourselves to this slow death over many years, accepting and succumbing to other people's truths. For example, a simple example, if your spouse or your partner says, "Oh, you look lovely in red," let's say, wouldn't you often choose to wear red even if you detest the color red? Okay, this is once again not to say that you cannot make small compromises once in a way to, make someone else happy. It's not that, but in an extreme situation or exacerbated, let's say you are constantly choosing the other person's preference over yours, because you think that your preference, in this case, which is your truth, is not as good as the other person, right? You will be rejected if you choose your choice and your preference and your truth. Say you really want to pursue your higher studies and travel the world and focus on your career, but your parents want you to get married by the time you are 20 and produce children and become a homemaker, let's say, right? And your uh, community or the collective culture says, and it has indoctrinated you into believing that uh, in order to be a good girl and be accepted and loved, you always need to follow uh, the will of your parents, that you always need to do what your parents want you to do. And if you challenge it in any way, if you want to choose something else, then you are a bad girl or a bad boy, or a bad child, and you are rejected. So then you learn to kind of swallow your dreams and, okay, go with what the world says. Although it means that you're slowly allowing yourself to be there and die within, you know, because you're killing that authentic self, that inherent light within you, that authentic self that was incarnated, born here on earth with your own soul mission, your own unique soul mission, with your own capacities and skills and, aspirations. We are all unique in that sense. There's no other uh, person exactly like you know. But when we don't allow that unique self to bloom and blossom, and fulfill its mission here on earth, but instead choose to uh, give up our own truth in order to fit into um, the truths that the world has created and has accepted as the only truths. Uh, and when we choose to sacrifice our truths again and again, um, and keep wearing masks to please other people and society, then we are, of course, not being true to ourselves. And that spark of the divine that we are truly, we are not being just to ourselves, we are not being fair to ourselves. We are denying ourselves our own truth and our right to be an authentic expression of our sovereign self. Each one of us is being born here on earth with our unique selves, unique life paths, and unique missions, because the divine intended us to be that unique expression, because it's needed here on earth. Because the universe doesn't do anything by mistake, or nothing is random in the universe. According to the universal laws, there's meaning and purpose behind everything. But if I, as a human being, refuses that truth, the truth about a uniqueness and a unique purpose and mission here on earth, which we fulfill by just being our own true self. So if we are denying that, then what are we truly denying? We are denying the existence of the divine itself. We are denying the existence of love, unconditional love, because of this deep fear that the ego mind has of being rejected. So in order to be accepted by society, when we keep rejecting our own truth and our authentic self, and ultimately our sovereign divine selves, so the choice is actually yours, and it all begins by connecting with your own unique truth. So I really hope this discourse today helped you in some way to connect with your truth, to express your truth as this beautiful, really, truly beautiful soul that you are, the beautiful divine spark of the divine that you truly are. So, my dear beautiful souls, always, always, I really hope that you will always choose your own truth to be an expression of your authentic self, no matter what that truth is, right? Knowing that, as one person who commented on one of my clips, said, to all our personal truth lead to the ultimate truth. There's a lot to reflect on there. So this is an invitation for you to just reflect on everything that I have shared here, to see any of it resonates as a truth to yourself. And yeah. So as always, Take a few moments to breathe into this truth, whatever your truth of the here and the now may be, with the intent that this truth may guide you, illuminate your path to the ultimate truth. Because all paths and all truths lead to that ultimate truth, which we are all searching for. Breathe it in. Slowly breathe out. Connect with your truth. Claim your truth. Embody your truth and express your truth with clarity, confidence, and compassion. Wishing you a beautiful day ahead. Bye for now.